Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream, I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, like this, too important to be taken seriously. So lighten up, folks, because guess what, bitch? In a minute, we all gonna be dead anyway. So just saying. All right, so today's topic is, drumroll please, Fierce Annual Events, Part 8. Yay! Okay, so Part 7, I spoke about the Stonewall Courage Award, which was 2015. So now we're going to fast forward to 2019, which was when World Gay Pride happened in New York City, and it was wonderful. There were all of these different events and all of these parties and seminars and this and that. And my best friend Bunnies, hey Bunnies, he came to New York and we were part of that. So we volunteered to do a lot of things, a lot of different events, from like the rooftop party to this to that. But the one thing that I remember that stood out was the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign. And that was kind of wonderful because that was like 2 days of like all these different seminars. So it was he and I and like maybe one or two other volunteers. And essentially we were there to like direct people to like where they had to go because there were all these different seminars and things happening at the same time. And reminded me a little bit of LLC, which I spoke about, which was a leather thing, but the same kind of conference where like, there were speakers and all these different things that you can learn. So this was the same thing, but this was like obviously pertaining to like, to HIV, AIDS, and different people from like, all over the world. So, once we would like direct people there, and once we knew that they were underway, we could kind of like go to the room and kind of try to hear, but it was different than LLC where we were actually there and introducing them. Like there, we weren't necessarily part of that, which I almost kind of wish that we were, but just being a part of that and knowing that it was going on and at that precise moment, I think was kind of wonderful that, the world comes together and the fact that it was in New York City. I don't know if it had ever been in New York City before, but what always ends up happening when you have something like that going on is you get people from all over the world coming. So then, of course, it helps for like boosting the economy and meeting people from all over the place, which I always think is wonderful. Meeting your gay and lesbian brothers and sisters from other countries is always kind of great. And also because it was 2019, it was before the pandemic. So there was still, a different feel in the air because I've said this before and people can agree or disagree with me. But since the pandemic happened, like the world is a slightly different place. And I've always said, I don't think it's ever going to go back to what it was before all of this happened. And that's my opinion. I was going to say humble opinion, but I said that the other day to a friend and she was like, bitch, ain't nothing humble about you. Kidding, of course, but the fact is, that is a figure of speech. But no, I mean, when I give my opinion, I believe in my beliefs. So no, I guess I'm not trying to be humble about it. I'm stating what I feel, which is authentic. So, but yeah, so that also stuck out to me because the timing of it, of when it was, and, it was like 6 months later that all of that happened. And I kind of feel like, now here it is 4 or 5, going on 5 years since the pandemic first hit. And things are, they'll never go back to how they used to be. And I don't see how it can. But so I think that's also why it holds a special place. But the World AIDS Day in New York, there were, as I said, so many other things going on as well. And I volunteered for as much as I can because that's part of who I am. And that's from my previous video when I spoke about the Stonewall Courage Award and, the volunteer work that I do and the activism. It's because I've always done this my whole life, which is why I got that award. And I have to be in drag to do it. I could do it as me or as Fiona. Well, James or Fiona. Same shit, really. Anywho, but I don't know. So how many of you guys were here for that? Maybe you guys attended some of the seminars and, did you find it informative? But did you feel that same kind of feel in the air? Because it was almost like it was gay pride all over again. And I love that same thing with like Gay Games 4, when you have people from all these other countries all coming together and reuniting for a cause, or uniting for a cause. It's a very powerful thing. And it's almost like you feel this wonderful energy and sense of vibration in the air that I really haven't felt that here, even in recent gay prides that I've gone to. It's, for me, it's a slightly different time. But you know what? Change is growth, and you should never be afraid of change, because that's the evolution of life, and that's what's going to happen. So you just go with it and just be thankful that you're alive and appreciative of everything you have. And I'm appreciative and thankful that you guys are always here with me. So, but anyway, leave your comments, subscribe if you have not, thumbs up. If you were at World AIDS Day in New York during that time, leave a little story, or, maybe you at this particular event, and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. And as always, I love you guys. And I'm sad too, because this is part 8. So this is the last part of this particular series. So after you watch this, 2 weeks later will be my 2024 in review. Because, this year I did the 3 different categories. So this is going to be the last one. The review will be more of an overview of the year, because a lot has happened this year that I've not spoken about, because I've been so specific with the topics that I've been doing. So I always like doing a year in review, because then that's when I really get to dig into like stuff that's happened to me that maybe I've been a little quiet about. But honey, my life is an open book, literally. FionaSt.James.com. Check it out and you can read all about it. Okay, guys, thanks so much for being here. Love you.